Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another issue of Hops Geek News. We are a podcast that talks about comic books. We talk about movies, TV shows, all of the above. And then most importantly, we, of course, drink a beer of the week. So first things first, some housekeeping items to get through. We have recently made our own platform for Hops Geek News. We were part of the Hops News, thing. We broke off. We're still doing Hops News. Don't get it wrong. But we have now put Hops Geek News on its own thing. We are sponsored by Spreaker Prime. So they are hosting us. They're all that kind of stuff. They have a sponsorship with us. So congrats. We are sponsored in a roundabout way. Also, that means you can go ahead on any podcasting platform, search Hops Geek News now. That's where you can find our episodes. Rate us, review us, share us, all of that good stuff. And then, of course, Hops Geek News on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Help us grow our YouTube.
Chris from Geek Peak says, sub us.
Yes, sub to your homies. We are there.
We have to sell a piece of our soul every time we say things like that.
Yes, every time I'm like and subscribe, that means I'm selling a piece of
it sounds like my kids when they pretend they're YouTube soul. It's famous.
Awful. But that's what you got to do. That's the price you got to pay to not work a 9 to 5 these days, right? That said, today's episode is going to be all about horror movies with a twist. So a lot of good horror movies that we just unexpectedly have twists and things with them.
We're going to try not to spoil so you can view it as recommendations.
Yes, we will do our best. No promises, especially as I drink
promise.
My
Matt
beer
doesn't.
of the week.
I saw his notes. Beware. He done spoiled shit for me already.
Oh my God. You haven't seen any horror movie. What am I supposed to do? How do I live like this? What do you want from me? Anyways, my beer of the week is from Portland, Maine. It is a collaboration beer. So this is from Lone Pine Brewing in a collaboration with a very, very good donut spot in Portland, Maine called Holy Donut. It's an imperial stout with donuts and toasted coconut. This is called Holy Donut. It's wicked good, brewed in collaboration with our friends at Holy Donut, crafted using dark chocolate, toasted coconut donuts, baked right here in Portland, along with regular toasted coconut. Man, there's a lot of coconut. Drink every time I say coconut. Are you drunk yet? Coconut.
Put the lime in it. It
is. I don't see the percentage on here. However, I can only assume that being that, it's 10.5%. Yeah, 10.5%. And evil, it's drunk tonight. Yes.
Dun, dun,
That's what I'm drinking. Lauren, what are you drinking?
I'm not drinking anything yet, but I'm pouring myself a little Gourd's Gone Wild.
Oh my God, that beer is so good.
I got you one today.
You've sent me one the past 2 years on top of that. Oh my God, is this a tradition? Is this our first tradition?
I guess it is now. So this is Tampa Bay Brewing Company, which if you caught our live Hops News show, we were talking about GABF, the Great American Beer Festival, and this brewery, the pumpkin beer. Do they have? I don't think they have a pumpkin section at GABF. For shame. But this is one of those beers that a lot of people know of that it's actually a good pumpkin because I'm very particular about pumpkin beers. Some of them are just too over the top. But this one's usually good. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm about to find out. But it is, it's only 6%.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It does contain lactose. I didn't remember it containing lactose, but I got it in my sweet pumpkin glass.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to get that beer. That beer is so good.
Ooh, actually, it does smell like lactose now. Now I wonder if they've had that every year or I just smell it because I read it. I was
going to say, is lactose new? Because I don't remember lactose.
Yeah.
Gotta
tastes like a creamsicle.
Gotta be new.
This is not what it's usually like. This is like a creamsicle.
Interesting. Well, it looks like somebody messed up on some things last week. So why don't we go into our What Have We Fucked Up On Last Week segment?
So I don't know if this is a fucked up on. It was that's a good thing to look into. I'm still writing news. There was a lot of news this week. Okay, I got all the news. I know. I thought after like D23 and Comic-Con and everything, we wouldn't have that much news. So one of the things we talked about that, we were thinking like how many celebrities have played zombies on The Walking Dead? Because last week we talked about zombies. I don't have, this isn't an exhaustive list, but I thought it was some fun ones. Sam Witwer was a zombie. He was actually one of the soldier zombies. I saw a picture of him like right next to Rick. And if you don't know who he is, he was in the first season of Dexter. He claimed to be the ice truck killer. He was in Smallville. And he voices Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. Kenobi.
He does. He also voices Starkiller in the video games.
So yeah,
Force Unleashed.
obviously he has
That's right.
an amazing. But he's the one that really gave us that like Kenobi. So yeah, he was a zombie. Scott Ian, the drummer for Anthrax, has been a zombie. Heinz
Everybody's
Ward
been a
from the
zombie.
Pittsburgh Steelers. And
His
I
brain is
was
mush anyways.
wrong about this. Chris Hardwick did make a zombie cameo.
Oh,
Greg Nicotero was the name I kept thinking of, the guy with the long hair that talks about all the special effects and would constantly reference George Romero and Talking Dead. And he's directed many episodes. He's actually has been a zombie as well. And the last one, which I had no idea and was very surprised, Johnny Depp played a zombie.
did he really in The Walking Dead?
Yeah,
Johnny
and
Depp?
there's a picture where his head's like cut off.
Are you sure it wasn't
Like,
just him during his relationship with Amber Heard? So he's playing himself.
I mean, it was just a head.
It was just a poop.
But oh my god, Amber Turd. All right, I don't want to go down this. So
anyways,
that was my we
reading or
messed up
watching?
/ look into, which we've been slacking on that section.
We have slacking, or have we been on our absolute game?
But I think sometimes I say I'll look into things and I forget.
And I actually haven't listened back to our episodes the last couple of weeks. I'm going to be honest. I've just been so busy. I haven't listened to like any podcasts lately. So I don't know. I don't do with that information what you will.
I literally like looked at that and I was like, hey, we talked about that Walking Dead.
Guys, this is where the audience, the audience comes into play, right?
Call us out.
Let us know what we mess up on. Like, we love that stuff. We need it because that's how we grow. That's how we stay humble, right? Like I said, Spreaker has now, they're sponsoring us. So we got to stay humble in this world. I know there's like 8 other million podcasts that are also sponsored by them, but you know what, guys? We have to stay humble in this world. So call us out on our bullshit.
You sound like Tim McGraw. Always stay humble and kind.
I was thinking Kendrick Lamar. Sit down. Be humble. Okay. Tale of Two Lives.
So what have you read or watched this week? I don't think we can talk She-Hulk if we're recording live the same day it came
No.
out.
So we are not going to talk She-Hulk. That'll be next week. Maybe. But
I loved it.
I finished. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
I thought you were saying like they nailed the finale. Like, nailed it. Good job, She-Hulk.
No, well, yes, but I
you're
finished
watching
Nailed It. The kids really love the show Nailed It. So we finished the newest season. Really great. I love it. My goal in life is to make this podcast big enough to be a host on Nailed It, or a guest host. And I also love to bake, so maybe I'll be a contestant. But then that means I suck at baking, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Anyways, I watched a little movie. It was not a good movie. It was the decision of my wife. She wanted to watch Terror Train because we were just sitting there like, what stupid, cheesy horror movie can we watch tonight? And she stumbled upon Jamie Lee Curtis's 1980s, it was actually the year 1980, film Terror Train. And boy, was that a movie. It was nothing like Halloween in 1978. She was riding those coattails pretty hard, and that's why they wanted her on this. I can assume it's about a group of college kids who are all medical students, and it begins with Jamie Lee and friends playing a prank on one kid that the kid doesn't appreciate. Fast forward, it says 6 years later or something like that, which is interesting. They're getting ready to graduate college.
Like House of the Dragon?
Yeah, so they're getting ready to graduate, I guess. Medical school takes a long time to graduate. I don't know. I joined the military for a reason. I'm stupid. And they go on this train to party and celebrate their last night together, essentially. And it was just so awful and cheesy, and the kills were hardly.
You liked awful and cheesy.
Oh, it was enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. We enjoyed ourselves very much. We had some wine. We watched this movie, but it was not good. Oh God, it wasn't good. The mannequin heads that they had, and like the murders and the kills in this movie, it was, of all the movies I've watched, this was one of them. So there's that.
There you go.
I watched Halloween 2018 to get ready for tonight. Just released on Peacock and in theaters. Halloween Ends, which apparently people are just ripping apart. You know what? Going with no expectations. I'm going to watch it after this podcast, and we'll see what happens. I watched Andor, which, if you're not caught up on Andor, okay, so I'm not going to spoil it. However, I will say this. Andor is peak Star Wars. This is the standard for Star Wars television going forward, and maybe even movies, because this movie is absolutely incredible. It show, I should say. Yes, it's incredible because the way just everything's portrayed. It's set up during the beginning of the rebellion. This is Cassian Andor in the first year of the rebellion, so it's very suspenseful. They shoot on location. Everything, the way it's shot, it's just so ungodly good that if you're not watching Andor, please give it a chance. Watch it. It's the best thing that's not related to the Force, right? Of course, Jedi, lightsabers.
Yeah.
So this is the best Star Wars related thing that is not directly Force related, and I love it, and I want more of it. So I'll leave it at that. And then the
first 3 have been phenomenal. I've just kind of gotten behind on it.
No, that's fine. This latest episode, it was emotional. It was emotional for various different reasons. And I'll leave it at that. I also, last thing that I watched a couple of things. Night of the Living Dead. I watched that. I watched Sleepy Hollow
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen Sleepy Hollow.
So I actually watched Sleepy Hollow, 1999 Sleepy Hollow, Tim Burton film starring Johnny Depp.
That's from 1999. That movie's that old.
It holds up surprisingly well. And the kills are great. This is one of Tim Burton's last great films he made. Now he made a couple movies after that are really good, but this film is awesome. I forgot how good it was because I guested on the Wheel of Horror podcast, which that will come out later this month. And Johnny Depp's great in it. It's a very good like whodunit kind of thing. Very suspenseful. The kills are great. The Headless Horseman going around just chopping heads off. For a 1999 film, this movie holds up surprisingly well. And I think that's because Tim Burton uses a lot of practical effects, which practical is the way to go. Of course.
So right. It's like why Jurassic Park holds up so well.
Exactly. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, this movie, they hold up because of practical effects.
Christian Bale Batman.
100%. So that was Sleepy Hollow. If you haven't watched that in years, I recommend you go and watch that. Really good. And then the last thing I watched was this movie called The Cursed. It's a 2021 film set in France in like the 1800s. And it's about Frenchmen who do some things to some gypsies, and from there they're kind of cursed and things like that. It was okay. Chris from the Geek Peak recommended it. Maybe I think with horror movies, I don't know why. Any other movie I can shut my brain off and really just be like, yeah, I enjoyed that. But for some reason, horror movies I have such standards with.
Should be the opposite because
exactly. Horror movies are cheesy and crappy more often than not, but to me I'm like, this wasn't good, gross. And it was okay. I don't think it was all great,
bad,
but
we'll talk about some good ones in a little bit. But
yeah, so that's all I've been watching. I haven't read anything. I haven't had the time. So what about you?
A little bit of House of the Dragon. I'm almost done with Smallville.
I'm so behind on House of the Dragon. So behind.
Okay. Well, so you're on a whole different cast than I am because all these damn time jumps, it's like, and then they keep naming everybody the same shit or similar shit. So it's like, I'm sorry.
I know what's going on and I know what happens. I'm just so behind.
Like every episode, it's like you all of a sudden have to like start from scratch about who's who.
Yeah. Well, this is the last time jump for a while, like forever. Goodness. So now you're getting into the war.
And I'll do a quick piece of news real quick. So George R.R. Martin has said that House of Dragon should take 4 seasons. So we shall expect 4 seasons unless it jumps the shark and they cut it off sooner.
You know what? I'd rather we end it sooner just because I don't want
on a high note. You don't want another.
I can't do another Game of Thrones situation.
Game of Thrones finale.
I can't do this. I can't live this way.
But this one, okay, the finale with this one, it's like you know where they're going. So you can't, I don't think that there can be such sheer disappointment.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I just want him to finish the damn series because I stopped in the middle of the second book when I was like, what? He hasn't even finished this? I'm done for now.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. The main thing I watched was The Winchesters premiered this week.
Yes, it did.
The very first episode of The Winchesters. Anybody who doesn't know what that is, it is the prequel to Supernatural. A lot of people are already giving it shit before they saw it. Jensen Ackles and his wife started it, Danielle Ackles. And it, okay, so they're giving it shit because they're like, oh, he's going to ruin 15 years of canon. And he's come out and said, I'm not going to do that. And what he uses, and they talked about it at New York Comic Con, is they use the disappearing picture thing from Back to the Future.
Hold on. What? Hold on. They're yelling at the man who was literally in all 15 seasons of this show?
Anything he posts or anybody posts about the Winchesters, half of it is like praise and half of it is like, I'm not even going to watch
first
that.
And foremost, Meg Donnelly of the Zombies franchise.
Oh, my daughter pointed that out.
She's in this show. However, people are really pressing Jensen Ackles, who, I don't know, he was on 15 seasons of Supernatural, saying he's going to ruin canon. You don't think this man knows what's canon and what's not?
Well, if anything, this man was disappointed with the season or series finale, which a lot of fans were. So if he can do anything to fix this, go for it. And he's the narrator of the show.
Okay, I was going to say, does this take place after Supernatural?
No, it's a prequel. It's about his parents meeting. So what a lot of people have shit for is there are storylines in Supernatural that already are not consistent with the basic premise of the Winchesters, but they have said, like, don't go anywhere. You'll see what we're doing and how we're doing it by episode 13. But this episode, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. There were so many Easter eggs. There was a The Boys Easter egg.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have been a coincidence because at some point Mary calls
He was
John,
literally in it.
Spoiler, I'll do. Well, so John, we all know he was a military man. He was in the Marines because he uses some of his Marine, like even in the very first episode, there's like coordinates.
Like in real life?
No. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Jeffrey Dean Morgan in real life. Maybe. But I don't think he fought in Vietnam. I'm guessing he was a little too young.
Are you sure?
But in the very first episode, they're like, oh, that's that Marine shit Dad always does. And it's the coordinates, which there was a nod to that in the first episode. There were so many subtle Easter eggs. They did a really good job. But he just got home from war and he meets Mary. So that's the beginning of their relationship.
So is Meg Donnelly the mom?
Yeah, she's the mom. And then, when Tom Welling shows up, he's Jensen's grandpa.
Oh, I was about to say that's weird if that's the dad. That's even weirder.
Yeah, no, he's playing. Well, the kid who's playing the dad actually looks a lot like Sam in real life, like Jared Padalecki. So that was good casting. No, they both did a great job. A ton of Easter eggs, a lot of fun. I highly recommend it if you're a Supernatural fan. My husband and daughter are on season 1 of Supernatural and they watched it with me, and there were quite a few things that went over their head because they were doing Easter eggs too much later.
You and me both, brothers.
So, yeah, go watch it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Carrie wants to watch it, and I have it on Plex, so maybe we'll watch it. I actually
watched it live on the CW on the antenna.
Shit, you know what we have
probably
to
won't do again.
We have to offline record our spoiler-free thoughts because we saw VHS 99, which we can't talk about until the 17th. So we can't talk about that live here. But we do have thoughts.
Now we can go to some news.
All right, so let's go to some news. Marvel has shifted some things because they have put Blade on hold, which they lost. Bassam Tariq was their director. They lost him a couple of weeks ago, and now in an effort to really nail the director portion of this movie, and there were some other things that came out about the film. So right now the movie is on hold, and the new upcoming Marvel slate has shifted to Quantum Mania, February 17th, 2023. Our boy, I've seen the leaked trailer. Not looking good for our boy Scott Lang. Also, if you've seen pictures of Jonathan Majors, that dude's a fucking snack. Like, oh my God, that guy is built like a Greek goddamn god.
Kang?
Yeah. Kang is goddamn sculpted from marble. Yeah,
he's on that Marvel diet.
Well, he's also playing in a movie I think has him as a boxer, but like he's gonna come in there and he's about to. The Kang train is coming. Okay. Well, shout out to Sean.
Well, you see so many like Chris Pratt is a great example. Like he got in shape just to play Star-Lord, and then all of a sudden he's in all these other movies. He wouldn't have gotten them as Parks and Rec Chris Pratt.
That's true. But my boy Kang, that boy is stacked. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Kang's physique. We're here to talk about the Marvel slate.
You might be.
I don't know. I might be swooning a little bit here.
She-Hulk's over. You're moving on to King the Conqueror.
God, She-Hulk will live on forever. She smashed. Oh, wish she would smash this mat.
Some of her comments were amazing. I was dying laughing at the finale. And that's all we'll say for now. Okay.
My wife's probably listening like, excuse me, you wish she what? Nothing. I'm so sorry. Like smash, just punch me in the face. Punch me in the face, smash me that way. Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will release May 5th, 2023. The Marvels, July 28th, 2023. Captain America New World Order, May 3rd, 2024. Thunderbolts, July 26, 2024. Now, allegedly, Blade will now release September 6, 2024. It was supposed to come out in November of 2023. Not the case anymore, which sucks because I'm looking forward to Blade.
Deadpool was supposed to come out.
Lauren, oh my God. You know what we didn't talk about? We watched Werewolf by Night.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We watched Werewolf by Night. Spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Marvel presentations, like special presentations, is the way to go. I absolutely love and adored Werewolf by Night. That's was so good.
Supernatural season 4, episode 5. The monster.
And maybe I'll surprise you one day. Maybe I'll surprise you. Next week you're gonna be like, "What'd you watch?" I'll be like, "Supernatural season 4, episode whatever you just said." But Werewolf by Night was amazing. Man Thing, aka Ted. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
that was
Ted
awesome.
Was adorable.
Also, Bloodstone and like the wolf transformation sequence, and then the ensuing fight sequence. That was rad. I loved it.
It was a lot of fun. I didn't really know what to expect or how they were going to do it, but I love that they showed the Marvel character like silhouette at the beginning, because it was like, yes, these are tied together. We're not going to tell you how yet or what's going on, but yeah, they're tied together. Yeah. It's just so fun. You have this legal comedy and you have this black and white show and you have, WandaVision, and then you have all these different things.
Spoiled and blessed.
Connected.
It's connected. Yeah. We're connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah, no.
But I thought that I loved the guy who played the werewolf. I thought he was amazing. Jack, I want to say Jack Terrier. What's his name?
I don't remember names because I am stupid.
Jack Russell. Because it's like a play on apparently it was unintentional, because like a Russell Terrier.
I was just thinking that. My first thought was Jack Russell Terrier. What?
Right. So they claim that was a coincidence that he was named Jack Russell, but yeah, because he turns into a dog.
It's oh man, they go into it's the Bloodstone stone is getting passed around and everybody convenes they're all monster hunters, and it's all black and white, which is really sick in its own right. The black and white works really well with this. It's an hour long, so carve out an hour of your time. I don't want to spoil it any further for anybody who maybe hasn't watched it yet, but just know that it's some of the best. It was one of my favorite Marvel properties to come out in phase 4. Like I have that, She-Hulk and Shang-Chi as my top 4 phase 4 projects.
Ooh, I'd have to think about mine.
I always forget Spider-Man's phase 4, so whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, Spider-Man's like in a category all on its own.
See, thank you. I feel like Spider-Man's a foregone. Like I can't say Spider-Man, that's cheating.
Right, because it's just too good. It's like sometimes I feel like when I say like Endgame is one of my favorites, it's like cheating.
Yeah, it's just like, well,
I'll say Winter Soldiers because I don't want to be too trendy and cheating.
Just low hanging fruit there. So
yeah.
Anyways, the long-awaited Deadpool was supposed to release on September 6th. That's now moved to November 8th, 2024.
Which means Kaylee, my daughter, her and I are going to have some beers in the movie theater together because she's going to be 21 by the time this comes out.
I can't believe that. Wow.
And I've never let her see a Deadpool movie in theater, so she'll get to see her first Deadpool movie in the theater now.
I can't live like this. Stop. I'm going to have a midlife crisis just sitting here listening to this conversation.
Proxy.
Exactly. Like Fantastic Four will release Valentine's Day 2025 because nothing says I love you, baby, like watching Reed Richards and Sue Storm on the big screen finally in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the last but not least, we have Avengers King Dynasty May 2nd, 2025. And you thought you were getting 2 Avengers films in the year 2025? Well, think again, my friends, because Avengers?
Whole year, those bastards.
Secret Wars May 1st, 2026.
It's going to be Infinity War and Endgame all over again.
Yes, you're going to have to wait a whole year. You knew though. And they
have nothing planned in well, I mean, who knows by then, but
we don't know when Armor Wars will come out now. Will Armor Wars maybe take Blade's spot next November? Because that was a movie, right?
Now.
Exactly. Is Armor Wars going to slide over? I think that's a strong possibility, especially with Riri showing up in less than a month in Black Panther, which
Ironheart.
I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, it's very possible. Anyways, moving on from news. Well, we still have news. So Gangs of New York. Do you remember that movie? Have you seen that movie?
That was like a 2 VHS movie back in the day.
Back in the day, you remember when you had to switch VHS tapes with Titanic and Gangs of New York? Yeah. Well, there's a TV series in the works with Martin Scorsese set to direct the first 2 episodes. I don't know any more than that. Didn't really say any more than that, but I'm very interested to see what they do because that movie is fantastic. Leonardo DiCaprio, that's one of his first big movies. It's got a pretty stacked cast as well. So Daniel Day-Lewis plays the Butcher. Highly recommend if you lived under a rock and haven't seen this movie, go and do it right now. Aside from that, Liam Neeson's in talks to star in a Naked Gun film. If you remember Naked Gun, that sounds familiar to you. That's because...
That's really funny.
You put that in your news?
Don't call me Shirley.
Yes. So that is going to be coming out. Leslie Nielsen played in those movies, the Naked Gun films. And you might have, again, yes, and Don't Call Me Shirley. That's from those Naked Gun films. So I guess we're going to reboot it with Liam Neeson, allegedly. So Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge in the WWE, Jessica Parker Kennedy, and Suzanne Cryer have been cast in the Percy Jackson series. So Adam will be playing Ares. I believe Jessica will be playing Echidna. I can't pronounce that right. And Suzanne will be playing Medusa. Maybe I've got those 2 backwards. But Percy Jackson, I have read the books. The books are great, especially if you're into mythology. And so it's cool to see Edge, who has come back to wrestling. He wasn't supposed to wrestle ever again. Tim, this is your cameo. Tim should know all about Edge, how he broke his neck, didn't wrestle for a while. He recently came back to WWE, but I believe he's setting up to retire again. And he starred in the TV show Vikings and a couple other TV shows. So now he's going to be in the Percy Jackson series, which is exciting. And then my last news, we've gone full circle, folks. Only now Netflix will be launching their ad-supported platform on November 3rd, which $6.99 is the basic you can get. You get ads with Netflix now. Luckily, if you have T-Mobile, T-Mobile pays for your stuff. But ads are now coming to Netflix. They become the very thing that they have swore to defend against.
Dun, dun, dun. What is it? You be the hero long enough, you become the villain.
You either live long enough...
You die
either
a hero,
or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
There
wow,
you go.
It took me a minute. Jesus.
Look at that. Blockbuster died a hero. Netflix has become the villain.
And now Blockbuster, I can't believe Netflix has a TV or a movie about
oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Netflix is about to have a movie about Blockbuster come out on their platform.
So they're making fun. They're making money off of the... Right.
It's so savage.
Damn, that's like
savage.
robbing someone, killing them, and then selling their shit.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
So there was a period of time where Blockbuster was trying, and I actually loved this model where like it was like a Netflix account, and you could go to Blockbuster and switch out the movies there if you wanted to, or you could just drop them in the mailbox.
Well, they were the first to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved that. We did that for a little bit because we could walk up and down the Blockbuster aisles and
I miss those days. Chinese food and Blockbuster, and like, we'll see what the problem was. Is Blockbuster actually said that the future wasn't in streaming, so they abandoned it. But then Netflix was like, okay, and came in, and it turns out Netflix was right.
Showed up too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Netflix. Do you remember when you would the DVD? They'd mail the stuff, and you'd mail it back.
Yeah,
and all
I vividly remember. I watched Dexter like that.
Well, it sucked though, because in the early days of Netflix, when you actually had to do that, you had to wait for the DVD or video game.
Are you kidding? It was exciting. Ooh, I get to go check my mail. I'm going to have a Dexter DVD in there.
But it was exciting, but at the same time, well, because you had movie nights, like the movie came.
Right. And it was cheaper than, $4 to go rent a new movie.
I still miss it.
But I think it was Redbox too. I think put the nail in the coffin as well.
By the way, Clerks 3 is now available on digital. So yes. I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
So get some tissues and not in the fun way.
Because I'm going to be not in the fun way. Okay.
Nope. It's not all dick and fart jokes anymore, kids.
It's not. And you would know that if you listen to our interview with Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson, a.k.a. Randall and Dante.
So Doctor Who, The Power of the Doctor trailer came out, and the show comes October 23rd, and we will be saying goodbye to number 13.
Jodie Whittaker.
The Boys' social media has introduced 2 new soups for season 4. We get Sister Sage, played by Susan Hayward, and Firecracker, played by Valerie Curry. I don't know who either of those people are. They're new to me, but they're going to be soups, so it should be fun. Doom Patrol season 4, part 1 comes out December 8th on HBO Max. Very excited for that. That's one of the few HBO Max shows that haven't taken a total shit. The Oregon Trail is being turned into a movie musical, so I cannot wait for the song "You Have Died of Dysentery."
I know. I need that to be the title track, like dysentery.
Right. So, I mean, honestly, when I first read that, part of me wanted, I feel like years ago I would have been like, okay, that's not true. But today, who knows? My next piece of news is, I thought I had said this last week, but I guess it actually came out this weekend, but we had just talked about it. Tom Welling is joining the cast of The Winchesters and will be playing Mary's father.
We did talk about it last week.
Okay, we did talk about it last week.
We did.
Yeah. Okay, but don't expect him in the first episode. The Crow reboot has wrapped production.
Yes.
DC Titans season 4, part 1 comes out November 3rd.
Yes.
I'm conflicted on if I'm going to watch it or not.
I reached out about press release, so maybe you get to watch some screeners. We'll see.
Oh, goody. Maybe it'll come around. I really didn't like last.
I also reached out about Doom Patrol, which Doom Patrol also is releasing December 8th.
Yeah. Season
4. And both season 4s for these, or whatever seasons are out now, they're going to be part 2s.
Yeah. So Ezra Miller has returned for reshoots. I don't know what that means. Are they bringing him back to write him out? Are they bringing him back to just do reshoots?
They better be launching them. They better be launching them into the fucking sun. That's all I got to say.
Just have Superman fly him out. Good Omens season 2 is coming out summer 2023. We don't have a specific date, but this is for all anybody heading to Epcot this holiday season. Cosmic Rewind will be getting a holiday makeover before the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special comes out.
Nah, hold on. Speaking of, Disney hiked their fucking prices up. So if you're heading to Epcot or Disney or anything, a lightsaber costs $250 now. And then the Genie Pass has just gone up in prices too. Like,
they're hiking everything up. It's bullshit.
I quit. Stupid all Disney, man.
Like, even their little droids that are usually 10 are now 12.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, their lightsabers now $250, and then the Genie Pass, which are only they opened up the Genie Pass for seasonal things.
Genie Pass. I hope Genie dies a horrific
But now they're charging up prices during the seasonal times. Like, nah, Disney, you're not poor. Like, we're poor.
Well, the only thing that I ever want to defend it for is, like, these parks are never empty. It's not like they're upping the prices and people aren't going. They're going. They're just complaining about it.
We're still going to go and complain. Like,
when I'm in line for a ride, which we do not go on rides nearly as much as we used to, because you used to get
you can't now.
Free fast passes.
Exactly.
Nothing free.
Or you had to be handicapped to go in the fast pass lane.
No, they got rid of that a while ago.
Well, I was saying, or you used to have to be handicapped to go in the fast pass.
Right, but they got rid of that because people were literally hiring handicapped people to go in the lines with them.
Look, I can't hate. That's actually a genius idea.
These Genie Plus lines, though, these Lightning Lane lines, there's a ton of people in them.
It's like,
and I can't knock somebody.
$20 per ticket, but now it's gone up to like $25. It's insane.
But if you have a family of 5, that's an extra $100 fucking dollars.
Exactly. And the tickets, like if you do a 3-day park hopper, it's like $1,000 for a family of 4. So
when I think Rise is now going to be $25, but it's like a carnival, but you have to pay to get in and you have to pay for the ride.
Pay to win, man. Welcome to the new age, I guess, right?
It's insane. But I mean, as long as people are paying it, they're going to keep doing it. And I can't knock a family who's like, we're coming here once ever and we want to go on all these rides, so we're going to pay to go on them.
No,
I don't blame them.
Right. I don't know. Let's all right. We can spend all day. Let's
take the anger down.
Take the anger down. Let's get through the news and let's get to the good horror stuff.
Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds are doing a Christmas movie together called Spirited. It looks like, to me, I watched the trailer, it looks like a funny version of Christmas Carol.
This reminds me, did you see that The Grinch is going to be a horror movie coming out December 8th as well?
Yeah, I don't like this.
I cannot wait to watch The Grinch murder Cindy Lou Who, but that's just
the whole point of The Grinch is that his heart grows. Not
in this version.
I don't like it. Dune Part 2 will be releasing 2 weeks early on Blade's original date of November 3rd, 2023. Trick or Treat comics are actually being released. So if you like the movie Trick or Treat, I guess there's comics, and they're releasing them in an omnibus just before Halloween.
I'm going to have to pick it up.
Dead to Me final season starts November 17th. That's one with, I like that one. It's got Velma in it and Christina Applegate.
That's fair.
It's The Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is not airing live this year, but Apple TV will have it.
Oh, God, I got to pay to win again.
Del Toro is doing a Pinocchio movie, and it's coming to Netflix on December 9th. Cartoon Network is merging with WB Animation.
Pinocchio on
Disney Plus did. I feel like that always happens. Like you have ants and you had Bug Life.
Okay, I'm just so confused. Anyways, continue.
The Penguin movie or the Penguin TV show will take place a week after the Batman. George R. Oh, I said that one before. Ahmed Best, who played everyone's favorite Star Wars character, Jar Jar Binks, revealed a script for his stage show about his Star Wars experience.
Good, because people almost ran that man to suicide. So I hope you feel awful.
Yeah, Natalie Portman's talked about that too. How she was not a fan of how horrible people were to him.
I love Natalie Portman. I simps. Never mind. Continue.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, let's go on to main topic. So we're going to be talking some horror movies with a good or maybe not so good twist. Now, we're going to do our best not to spoil. I have just spoiled like 8 movies for Lauren in the notes. I know I need to remember that Lauren hasn't seen a single movie in her entire existence, and I've seen them all apparently. So like, I can't believe she hasn't even seen Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, she probably hasn't seen Friday the 13th either, but
not the original. No.
Oh my God. Oh God. It hurts sometimes.
I've seen all the Halloween. Well, not all the Halloween.
It hurts to sometimes do this show, but just know through the pain, we persevere. So, all right. Well, first things first, we're going to kick it off with the movie, the Scream franchise. I can say the Scream franchise overall. So
I agree.
Why don't you go ahead and kick us off with
other than the
Scream?
Last one. So Scream, I got some fun facts. I think everybody's probably seen these movies and knows the basic premise. All of them except the last one I felt like were a big surprise to me. The last one, I guessed correctly. I think we all did going to that movie. We were like, oh, this person's definitely the killer. And guess what? There was only one extra surprise about that. Right. And like, I don't want to say that because that's a newer one. But yeah, all the Scream movies. The second one, blew my mind. I mean, and then the one with Julia Roberts' niece, that one surprised me.
That was with Hayden Panettiere and yeah.
I didn't remember her being in that. Save the Cheerleader, Save the World.
Yes.
I just remembered Emma Roberts. Okay. So here's some fun facts from the movie. I know we did a whole episode on this last year, so you're going to get more of these. The screenwriter was inspired by Halloween and some real murders that took place in Gainesville, Florida, because all good stories are connected to Florida. Discovery Plus just actually released a documentary about these Gainesville murders, and it's called Scream: The True Story. So if you like true crime, that might be right up your alley. Drew Barrymore was supposed to play Sidney Prescott. This actually convinced Wes Craven to sign on. However, Drew then changed her mind and said she wanted to play the girl who instantly died, so the audience would think no one was safe. And it worked, especially since I remember her being on all the posters.
Yes, she was the title character on. Right, her name is up there.
Right, well, she's the biggest one on the poster too.
In the trailers, you never see her past which is obviously the beginning of the movie. So that's
always the hello. Right, that's always it.
Hello there. What's your favorite scary movie?
Who is this?
I know what Lauren's favorite scary movie is.
What is it?
Jeepers.
Oh,
Creepers.
No.
Where'd you get those peepers?
Podcast over.
Jeepers.
Nope,
creepers.
I'm leaving.
Where'd you get those flies?
We're not talking about that movie. So, next fun fact. The infamous mask was found at a spot near where they were location scouting, so it's kind of a happy accident. Linda Blair makes a cameo as a news reporter. She is Reagan from, I've seen that movie, The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah, surprisingly.
Billy Loomis is named after Dr. Loomis in Halloween. And at one point when filming the opening scene, someone forgot to unplug the phone that Casey uses to call the cops, which is Drew Barrymore. This resulted in a very confused 911 operator hearing Drew Barrymore screaming for her life on the phone. And then there was one other fun fact. Wes Craven does make a cameo dressed as basically Freddy Krueger, but he's mopping the floors. It's when the Fonz comes out and he's like, hey. And then you see Wes Craven dressed as Freddy Krueger going, what? And if you want to watch any of these movies, they're all on Paramount Plus.
They are, but if you have a Samsung TV, Paramount Plus doesn't work on Samsung for some reason. I don't know why. You've been forewarned, though. Trust me.
Works on Fire Stick.
Yeah. Well, fun fact about the Freddy Krueger shirt. So the reason why it's red and green together is because psychologically, for some reason, those colors create some sort of disturbing reaction in your together for some reason they create some sort of like disturbing reaction, I guess, which is why they did that as a sweater. Anyways, the next film.
That's why Josh gets so disturbed at Christmas time in our house.
Apparently. I don't know.
All right, do one of your movies and then I'll do Identity.
Yeah, I don't really know that movie. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do Cabin in
that
the
movie.
Woods.
I'm shocked.
I think I have. Was that the movie where like there's a radio involved or something?
I don't know. There's radios in lots of movies.
Nope, never mind. I read the plot.
Are you talking about Candy Cane? That's a CB radio.
I don't know. Anyways, Cabin in the Woods is what I'm going to go with. This movie stars Chris Hemsworth. If you haven't paid attention, it's about a group of teenagers or college kids, whatever you want to call them, the youth. And they go up to a cabin in the woods and some things ensue. I don't really know any fun facts because when I prepared for this podcast, I went ahead and was going to talk about the twist. But then Lauren was like, hey, we probably shouldn't spoil it for some people. And I was like, you're right, I guess, because even though these things have been out for a while, some people... I threw
in some fun facts. You can read.
All right, well, I don't... Okay, so the wolf head had powdered sugar on it.
That's a fun fact.
There's a full list of monsters to include a nod to Sin City, which is a very good movie starring Bruce Willis. Fun fact. And then the main characters were inspired by Breakfast Club, which each of them were having their own outlook on life, being from different backgrounds, which makes sense because Chris Hemsworth's like the jock, all that stuff. Very good movie. Got a lot of good stuff that happens in this. Again, it's very hard for me to talk about these movies, especially as I've been drinking and not spoil them. So Cabin in the Woods, folks.
And this is one when I asked, people, what's your favorite movie that had a twist? Sean from Metalcore Nerds actually said Cabin in the Woods.
Shout out to
and
my
what's
boy
funny
Sean. Happy
is
anniversary.
Josh and I watched that movie years ago, and I didn't remember it at all until I read your spoiler that you wrote in the notes, and I was like,
This is one of Carrie's favorite Halloween horror movies, funny enough. So
I remember not loving it. But this was like, we watched a while ago to where like, because Josh will be like, oh, let's watch a scary movie. And it'll be like April. And I'm like, no, the only way I'm okay with watching horror movies is if there's bats on the wall. And
I can eat pumpkin raisins. God damn it.
There you go. And because then it's not less scary. It's more festive.
True.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I've gotten a lot better. And I thank The Walking Dead for this. But scary movies used to give me nightmares.
Hold on. The big rumor right now being reported is that Harrison Ford's going to be playing General Ross in the Captain America 4 movie.
I'm okay with that. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
But he has to play a dick. Does he ever really play a dick other than maybe at the end of
Harrison Ford's literally a dick in everything he plays in. Just listen.
No, but he's a charismatic dick. Thunderbolt was not a charismatic dick. He was
he's going to be now. So anyways.
I mean, at the very end of What Lies Beneath, I felt like he was a dick.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's 80 years old. Let's not do this.
I know he is 80. Okay, my next movie is Identity, which came out in 2003, featuring John Cusack, Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet, Alfred Molina, and a bunch of other people. This is a mystery thriller throughout the entire thing. So it's almost like a whodunit, but there's a big twist. So they're stranded at a desolate Nevada motel during a nasty rainstorm, and 10 strangers become acquainted with each other when they realize they're being killed off one by one. So I did not see the ending coming. It's so much more than you think it is. I highly recommend this movie. I actually put it on and started to get sucked in and had to turn it off because I didn't have time to watch the whole movie. Several different endings were filmed in order to shroud the real conclusion in secrecy. Ray Liotta's character was asked where he was heading with his con, and his reply was to Carson City. John Cusack was in the movie Con Air in 1997, where the cons took over.
Yes, Con Air. God,
and Carson City. Isn't Con Air the best movie ever?
It is. Wait.
So a life-size dummy was created to depict one of the murdered characters with a baseball bat lodged inside their throat. And one of the studio execs asked to keep the dummy as a souvenir, and he stored it in his office closet. And one night, a cleaning lady opened the closet and was terrified. So the dummy was removed from the offices immediately.
Oh.
So, although Identity is not a direct remake of the novel/film, And Then There Were None, which is sometimes referred to as 10 Little Indians, written by Agatha Christie, the film does take several plot points from that story. And if you want to watch that, it is on Netflix. All right. What's your next pick?
All right. I'm going to go a 2-for-1 here. American Horror Story Season 1 and Haunting on Hill House. Both have pretty good twists. And
I loved Haunting on Hill House.
Yes. So Haunting on Hill House is pretty good. It's a very slow burn. So if you're impatient, then you probably shouldn't watch it. However,
but it's connected to Midnight Mass and the other one. So if you like any of those, it's not connected, but it's the same like writers and some of the same actors.
Yeah. So there's one called Midnight Club out right now, which we started last night. I fell asleep halfway through episode 1 because I'm an old man. If you start anything past like 7:00 at night, I'm going to fall asleep. And American Horror Story Season 1, which actually has a lot of really well-known people such as Lady Gaga have appeared in this anthology series, but Season 1 was probably the best one. So those are my 2-for-1s right there. Go watch them. I'm going to throw you in a third one before you go in and say Friday the 13th Part 1. And a lot of people know Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th series. There are 12 films in the Friday the 13th series total, and a lot of people don't realize that he doesn't get the ski mask or the hockey mask until the third film. So that's a little nugget right there. However, most people often forget the first film entirely, which
somebody died in Scream because of that, didn't they?
Yes.
So I did know that twist because of Scream.
Okay. Well,
you can spoil that one.
I'm going to spoil. It's a 1980 film. My God, if you haven't watched it.
I'm talking about Psycho, and I'm not going to spoil it.
So yeah, Friday the 13th, a lot of people don't realize that the very first film was actually Jason Voorhees' mom, Pamela Voorhees, who is the murderer. And everyone forgets this fact. She's revenging his death because all the camp counselors were off having filthy sex, as she says. And
Barrymore got that one wrong.
They let him die. And so he was actually originally not supposed to be disabled at all, but they made him disabled. And so she comes back, kills the camp counselors and all that stuff. And he doesn't actually really appear until the second film. So the more you know, folks, the more you know.
That's why we're here to educate.
Exactly.
Do you consider Sixth Sense a scary movie?
No, but it is supernatural.
Okay. There's some scary scenes. Like when Haley Joel Osment runs into his tent. Yeah.
Okay. There are dead people literally everywhere.
Like, I don't think this constitutes as like a horror movie, but it is scary.
It's not a horror, but it's like a supernatural thriller. So I would consider it. I'll allow it.
See, those used to be the only, I guess, scary movies I would watch.
Oh, God.
But see, I'm venturing out. How many of these ridiculous, how many Christmas horror movies did I watch last year?
Not enough
and
yet.
I still lost to you in friggin' trivia.
I can't say.
Okay, so Sixth Sense. Bruce Willis was forced to do this movie. Not necessarily forced, but it was the first of 2 movies that he owed Disney after he shut down another production. Huh. Interesting. Apparently he's difficult nature, which we saw that with. Oh, and then they mentioned Kevin Smith. I didn't actually research these ones before. So tales of Willis's difficult nature as an actor are legendary in Hollywood, such as his drama with Kevin Smith. However, according to IMDb, on the set of The Broadway Baller, he ended the movie for good after firing the director. As part of his Disney contract, he was signed on to The Sixth Sense and another less successful movie, which was The Kid. That's funny. Another thing, he had to sacrifice his freedom to choose projects was his usual salary. He paid a measly $10 million, or he was paid a measly $10 million for The Sixth Sense, half of his usual salary at the time. A measly $10 million.
Oh, that's all.
Donnie Wahlberg lost 43 pounds for this role. I didn't know that was him.
He was even in this.
Yeah, he's the. Do you know why people are scared of the dark? I do. Wow. I didn't know that was him, and I remember finding that out and being like, "Wait, what?" From New Kids on the Block. Like, that was crazy.
New Kids on the Block.
Had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. Or you could go another route. New Kids on the Block did something else, too. The M&M version.
They created the Wahlburgers. Yeah, you're right.
The Wahlburger by us shut down during COVID. I thought it was really
There's
good.
one outside of Fenway Park.
I loved Wahlburgers. So if you want to watch Sixth Sense again, because I'm sure everybody's seen it, it's on Hulu and Peacock, or you can rent it from Amazon. What you got next?
All right. Well, what I have next is Saw.
Yeah.
Have you seen Saw?
I saw the one with Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh my God, I'm so almost proud of you. Yes.
I think that was the third or fourth one.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyways, yes. So Saw 1, it's about a dude who do you want to play a game? And they have to do certain things from there. Jigsaw. It spawned so many fucking crazy spinoffs. But Saw 1 has a really good twist. I'm just going to go through the rest of my list because I'm full of spoilers. So I'm going to finish my list off here real quick. Saw 1, Orphan. So if you remember Orphan, she gets adopted into a family. She starts killing said people. There's a very good twist there in that movie. They actually just made a second one, which you can find on Paramount Plus. The Mist, Stephen King's ending in the book is vastly different than the movie's ending. And he actually likes the movie ending better. And it's probably one of the more messed up movie endings that I have personally ever seen. So, and my last one, not a good twist, but The Village. And that's
I never saw this, but I heard people were pissed about it.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, which is depicted as a cult that stays in the woods. That they go in the woods, they get killed by monsters. And this is really when the M. Night Shyamalan, like, he's known for movies, but his twists and everything he tries to do suck. That's where this comes from. So there you have it. I mean,
his twist in Sixth Sense was good.
Yeah, and that was the last good movie.
Real quick, since we are recording live, I'm just going to shout out to people in the comment section real quick. My mom said Andor is fantastic. So Mike said, he's the one that said breaking news, Harrison Ford is Thunderbolt Ross and Captain 4 ? Yeah. So Mike is the one that got to stay at Tony Stark's cabin and FaceTimed me while he was there and showed me what all I'm missing because it looks amazing and I really need to do that. Josh, my husband, is a liar. Jeepers Creepers is not my favorite. I did not know he instigated you to sing that song. That was really messed up. Oh, my mom even said you're going to be in trouble for that.
Look, we're part of the Scooter gang.
See, after I remember the movie Wrong Turn.
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie, yeah.
Okay, so after I saw that movie, I had nightmares of like creepy little people shooting me with arrows.
Ooh.
I've come a long way. I've been told I should rewatch Jeepers Creepers. I'm never going to do that again.
I kind of want to. Anyways.
The Others is my next recommendation from 2001, starring Nicole Kidman. The Ninth Doctor is actually in this. And this one involves kids, and movies are always creepier if there's kids in them.
Yeah, that's why I did a haunted house theme of kids.
Oh, man. So Nicole Kidman plays a woman whose kids are allergic to sun, and her husband's off at war. I think it's World War II. And she soon thinks her house is haunted and things are getting moved and she's hearing sounds. Did not see the twist coming at all. Kidman was hesitant to take the role as she didn't want to do something so dark. Some of the scenes were actually lit by candles. And you can't find this anywhere except YouTube for some reason. But this movie, I remember the twist like blowing my fucking mind. And then, of course, it's one of those that then you kind of look back and you think things through. And then it's like, oh, it's like Sixth Sense. When you walk back, you're like, no, but he was talking to the mom in the room. And then you go back and watch it. No, they weren't. They were both just sitting there.
Yeah.
So, and then my last one I think I have two more. Haunted Mansion. Have you seen the Haunted Mansion from 2003 with Eddie Murphy?
Of course. We're actually we watch it every year. Okay.
So this one is way creepier than I feel like it has any business being.
It really low-key is.
And it really gets swept under the rug, too. So it's, like I said, it's Eddie Murphy. He's a dad who works too much. They do real estate. Mom and dad both work together at Evers and Evers Real Estate. And you'll be, happy forever.
Evers and Evers Real Estate.
So mom and the kids want to go on a vacation, but they have to swing by this listing first. And of course, it's the Haunted Mansion. And, it's nice because if you've ever been on the ride, you get the whole background of Master Gracie and who he is.
I did do the ride one time, but I don't really remember it.
You've only been on Haunted Mansion once?
Okay. You've never watched a single movie in your life, so who's judging who here?
You've only been on Haunted Mansion.
You've never watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984? Okay.
Nope.
Exactly. Take your judgmental eyes elsewhere.
With that deviant behavior. So it definitely, I thought it had a twist. It took me by surprise at the end. There was one little thing. It wasn't a huge plot twist, but there was something that was pretty big that was a twist. I was really just surprised how creepy it is. But there's so much straight out of the ride. For those of you who have been on the ride more than once, you might pick up on those little nuances. There's a scene where there's a crow that shows up and he like just caws at Eddie Murphy and it's inside the house. This is actually a nod to the ride. If you remember the ride, there's crows in every room. There'll be like one crow in each room and they're kind of just sitting there just like moving. They don't really have anything to do with any of it. But back, all the sound comes out of your doom buggy. But back in the day when you went into a room, the crow was saying everything. So they upgraded to the doom buggy. So that was a cute little nod.
The dad, Eddie Murphy, and the kids had to watch mom suck face with the ghost.
I love that scene. He's like, "That's not your mom." They're like, "Sure, Dad." The outside of the house is a complete facade, as is the road, the dead trees, and the swamp area. So Disney Imagineers created all of that. Some of the tombstones from the actual ride were borrowed for the movie. So not just like we're copying this tombstone, it was the actual tombstones.
Oh, right on.
And of course, you can find this on Disney Plus.
Holla.
Little quick nod to Supernatural because they have multiple scary episodes. And dude, they got good twists, man. A lot of times you don't see that shit coming. I think my last thing is Psycho. So this is the one.
Well, they advertised the main girl into this movie, and Alfred Hitchcock actually used to cut his own trailers. So he did a really good job deceiving everybody. That's all.
So this movie was spoiled months before its release. Hitchcock financed it himself. There was visible holiday decor in the area, which is the only reason they decided to have it be December. It was the first movie to feature a toilet.
Really? Interesting. Yep. The more you know, kid. Again, the more you know. You got to be shitting me.
Yeah, no one was shitting anyone.
Shitting bricks.
Hitchcock told movie theaters not to let any late shows in. And this last fun fact, which I think a lot of people have heard, that they use chocolate syrup as the blood because it was black and white.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, like when you do the background of WandaVision, if you watch the making of it, like they had to use like blue lipstick and random shit for black and white. And yeah, that's the last one I got. Josh recommended that one. That does have a twist. I think everyone knows that twist.
It's true. Everybody kind of knows the twist, and these movies are all good. There's a ton more different movies, and if you have any
more.
I don't have a few more. I'm done. Yeah,
Orphan,
I talked about all these. I said I just went through my list because I can't spoil, because I spoiled them in the notes, so I couldn't spoil out loud because I don't want people to be spoiled other than you. You've already been spoiled, so now you know what to expect if you ever watch
Orphan's
these
one
movies.
I hadn't seen. I was going to watch it.
I am sure you were. And so that's all I have. I have nothing else. Halloween season is upon us, folks. That is kind of our list of movies that you should check out if you want to watch a good movie with a twist. Next week our commentary week?
No, next week we should be doing the theme parks, which we said we were going to do last week. We shouldn't even say we're doing that next week because a lot of times it changes.
All right. So next week is either going to be a Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 commentary track because Lauren's never seen it, or you're going to get
the theme
Halloween theme parks and Disney Halloween movies such as Halloween Town, which is one of the greatest Halloween movies Disney has ever produced. Mm-hmm. So guess what? The fun is all in the whatever happens. So yeah, we tried a little something new tonight. We went live through our Facebook. I can't guarantee that's going to happen again. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If you tuned in, you want to see more of it, let us know. If you're listening on the podcasting platforms, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, take a drink. Ha. But if you want to help the show, patreon.com/HopsGeekNews. Go to Hops Geek News on all of your podcasting platforms and social media platforms. Help us out here. We want to do dope stuff. We want to continue to do really cool things like MegaCon's coming up. We're going to try to get press passes for that and just continue to bring you really great content. So shout out to you guys for listening to us, helping us, and shout out to Josh, who's part of the Scooter Gang for life. Shout out to everybody else. And next week, it's a surprise to even myself, and I'm a part of the show.
Motherfucker.
That said, we really appreciate you guys. Happy Halloween. Go watch a spooky movie. I'm going to go watch Evil Dies tonight, aka Halloween Kills. And cheers.
Cheers.